Happy Friday, April 5th. I'm your host, Kimberly Perot, and welcome to Wasatch Weekends. It's a fun one because we have a conversation with Katie Wang about the latest and greatest films that our Park City Film is showing this weekend and beyond. And then Mud Madness. What is that, you might ask, as we are quickly approaching mud season. Can't wait to have that conversation. But before we get started, let's take a look at the weather. Now it is the weekend and you know what that means. Park City Film has some incredible films to see, plus exciting events happening. I've got Katie Wang joining me this morning. Katie, how are you?
I'm well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you here. So excited to chat. We've got some fun things happening this weekend and then some other things coming up in the following week. So what is happening with Park City Film this weekend?
So kind of at the tail end of our Oscar run, we have programmed a film called Io Capitano. It was nominated for Best International Feature Film from Italy. And it is also a New York Times Critics' Pick. So this is a story, an immigration story of two Senegalese cousins, teenagers, who seek a better life in Europe. And so it's about their arduous and, kind of terrifying in many ways journey from Senegal through the continent of Africa over into Europe. And it is intense. It is, a story that needs to be told because I think a lot of people, it was in the news for a long time about, what was going on with the immigration crisis. And certainly we heard a lot about people on rafts coming over the Mediterranean Sea. But, I feel like it's kind of lost its stature in the news, as it were, but it's still a story that goes on and is certainly a journey that a lot of folks are still facing. So very timely film, very timely story. And what I love about African storytelling is that it is magical. I mean, there is the intensity, of course, of the journey, but there's also magic realism, which I think a lot of folks are not familiar with in African storytelling. And so there's that element of it that makes it kind of grounds it in the place that it's from, but also presents this story that is universal in its storylines. So really excited to have that this weekend. We are sold out for our Friday night show. So if you do want to come to see this film, and I suggest you do, you can only come see it on our Saturday and Sunday night screenings, which Saturday at 7 and Sunday at 6.
Wow, that's incredible. And I think just like you mentioned, it's just rich with culture, and storytelling is such an art within it. So that's exciting news. So already sold out for Friday. So Saturday and Sunday only to get tickets. So make sure that you get online and get them ahead of time. And what else is coming up? I know we've got some exciting conversations happening next week.
Yes, so we are partnering with Live Like Sam, and it's a nonprofit here in town that focuses on mental wellness. It was founded around Sam Jackenthal, unfortunately a big mountain skier, had an accident down in Australia and unfortunately passed away from that accident. So there's an interesting parallel to his story with the story of Kevin Pierce, who's a former pro snowboarder, and his journey and his accident was famously documented by Lucy Walker in The Crash Reel in 2013, a film that we showed back when it premiered. So Kevin is on the speaker circuit now, and he'll be at the Santee Auditorium on Thursday, April 11th, so next Thursday. And he'll be showing clips from the film, which kind of documents his journey leading up to his accident at Park City Mountain Resort in 2008 and his initial recovery. But then Kevin's going to talk about what happened after that, like what happens in life when you are on this very clear path, as he was, to be a professional snowboarder. And suddenly, you hit that dog leg where things just completely change. There's no way he could have predicted the trajectory that he is on now, but he has found a way to not just simply survive that, that incident, but to really thrive. And so talking about mental wellness, resilience, passion for life. Kevin embodies all of that. So it's a great partnership with Live Like Sam, because that is certainly their mission of how do you live your best life, no matter what comes at you, how do you deal with all of that? So it'll be a really fascinating night. I think great conversation, clips from the film, Q&A with the audience. Tickets start at $10, and proceeds do benefit Live Like Sam. So you can go to parkcityfilm.org and get tickets for that film in advance, that event, and certainly Io Capitano this weekend as well, to get some more information on both of those great films and events at the Park City Film.
Wonderful. Now, Live Like Sam is definitely one of my favorite nonprofits, and such an important conversation to be had, because you never know when life can change in an instant. So I love that you're doing this event, and that you've partnered with Live Like Sam to continue to bring visibility and awareness to mental health and beyond. So excellent. Katie, where can we go one more time for tickets, for more information, and to keep up with summer programming, because that is quickly coming upon us?
I know, right? It seems like summer is so far away, but yet it seems like it'll also be here tomorrow. So definitely put that on your list. Parkcityfilm.org for information on all of our films and upcoming events. And we're programmed out now through the end of April, into May. You can certainly go get your tickets online in advance, or the box office opens an hour before the posted showtime. So you can also get your tickets at the door. But a reminder that Io Capitano is sold out for Friday. So you can come Saturday and Sunday to see that. We do expect that the Kevin Pierce event, an evening with Kevin Pierce, will get close to selling out. So if you do want to come join us for that, we do recommend getting tickets in advance. But we'll certainly post on our website and on our social media platforms as we get closer to time, if we start selling out for that, and give people a little sense of urgency of whether they need to get it in advance or if they can safely get it at the door. But we're looking forward to a great event this weekend and certainly next week.
Wonderful. Well, Katie, thanks so much. And we just thank you for so much and how you impact the community in Park City, and with great programming and with great messaging as well. So great. Good luck to you this weekend and next week and beyond. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Now we will be back with more on our show right after this quick break. Now, who doesn't like to get their hands dirty every once in a while? And we are approaching mud season, so in honor of that, we had a conversation with the show Mud Madness about all of the competition and the money that they can win. Let's take a look.
I've always been a fan of the mud, and I love racing. I love big tires. So Megan and Bryce with the new show, Mud Madness. I couldn't be more stoked to meet you guys and talk all things racing and mud. How are you guys doing?
Doing good this morning.
Oh my gosh.
Doing great. What's up?
Look at you guys. You're amazing. I love this. I love the vibe. So guys, you have to just dive right in and let me know, Mud Madness, what is it about? I get it. It's like big tires racing in the mud, but give me the lowdown. I want to know what it's all about.
You want it, Megan, or you want me to take it?
Go ahead, Bryce.
Man, well, first of all, it's tough to talk about this stuff without giving any spoilers, so I'll keep it brief. But we have some of the craziest competitions racing each other. I mean, we're obviously mud deep as as your neck. You can swim in it. It's so nasty and deep. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's bad. But there's a lot that goes on that's kind of, they're pulling the curtain back that nobody really sees. It's the party scene that happens in the middle of nowhere, and you guys are in for a real treat.
Well, I can tell already that you two look like two people that you would want to hang out with. You are both like just cool and have your own vibe. So I'm very stoked. I'm very interested to see this show. Now, how did you guys get into all things racing and mud? I mean, how does that come about?
Well, for me, mine was over a bet. I was upgrading tires, which were always getting larger and larger tires.
Nice.
I needed a part. One of my best friends, he was like, look, I bet you can't race. At this time, they had 0 girls in the big tire bounty game. And that was my first race. I was hooked, full adrenaline rush. I wanted to do it again.
That's awesome. Where are you guys from? I love the accents.
I'm from Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Nice. What about you?
I'm from middle of nowhere, Missouri.
I love it. So do you think this is part because the southern piece of it, like being in the mud from the south, is that like kind of a deep south thing?
For the most part, it's a lot south, but we've traveled all the way to Minnesota. We've traveled all the way to the East Coast. Bryce has recently traveled all the way to California. So we go all over.
That's awesome. And so how many people are in the show for Mud Madness, about guesstimate?
I think there's like 5 or 6 of us on the cast, but then, most of us kind of have our partner in crime or our team here and there.
Cool.
And this community is it's a weird, almost like family reunion type of situation in different states. Like when I go to Texas, I've got guys that I only see in Texas. When I go to Arkansas, I've got guys there that I only see in Arkansas. So there's quite a few different characters in the whole show, but overall there's a close, probably like 8 to 10 people.
You guys are killing me because I can tell there's so much, and just by like both of you're smiling. I'm like, I can tell there's so much in the show that happens that you can't tell us, so you just have to tune in. But I'm so excited to watch it already.
You're right. I'm trying not to get in trouble. They told me I can't spoil anything, so I'm trying not to tell you guys everything. I really am.
Well, we were wondering, for the competition of it all, what is at stake? Because I know it's obviously competition, and you love doing this, and it's fun, and obviously you guys have a great time together. But is there like a big prize at the end?
Absolutely. It's all about you're trying to win money. You're trying to win, the bragging rights for me. A lot of it is that, for sure. The money is always that nice little additive.
That's awesome. And Megan, are you the only woman in the cast in the show?
There is another. So you'll
Sorry,
see
I don't
her
want to
too.
get you in trouble, but that's awesome. That is so cool. So how long have both of you been racing?
So I've been racing I've been in the off-road world, like specifically in the side-by-sides UTVs since 2008. But I started racing in 2012.
Wow.
I don't remember exactly where my first one was or anything like that, but I know that it was 2012 just because that's some of the oldest pictures that I can find.
That's so rad. What about you, Megan?
So I've been in the off-road scene, and this is more like parks and everything like that, since probably about 9 years. And then for racing wise, a good 6 for sure.
Okay, awesome. And then this might be a question that you do not ever get again, but I love all things glitz and glam and like kind of fashion. And Megan, your hair is amazing. Do you guys get to wear like
the machine?
I love it.
Sorry.
Oh no, you're so good. Do you guys get to like kind of show your personality in the clothes? I don't know about like with the racing. Do you get to wear your own clothing?
Well, I'll just pull it to my machine. My machine's bright pink. It has glitter. It has silver and glitter and diamonds on it. So if that doesn't tell you about my personality and about kind of showing off a little bit with my machine, 100%.
I love that. What about you, Bryce?
Oh yeah, like we can pretty much wear what we want. I have a clothing line myself.
Oh, cool.
It's Whiskey Biz. You can find it all over online. But so most of the time I'm wearing my own clothing, and as far as the rig goes, they're very custom and tailored to me.
Well, you guys are awesome. Mud Madness, where can we watch that?
Discovery, April 9th, baby.
Oh, awesome. Thank you guys so much. You're rad. I'm going to be watching. You have a new fan in me. You made me a believer. Thank you guys so much. Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Health and wellness is such a huge focus, but I bet there are some conversations that you have yet to have, specifically around meningitis. What in the world is that, and how do you get it? It's a sneaky disease, so let's look at that conversation with a survivor and a medical expert. We love to talk about health and wellness here on the show, but one of the conversations that is not often had is around meningitis and what that is. Joining me today are 2 experts, one a survivor of meningitis and 2 a healthcare provider and professional about it. I've got Dr. Wendy Wright and Jonathan de Guzman joining me today. So how are you both?
Great, thank you for having us both.
So Dr. Wright, what is meningococcal meningitis and how is it contracted?
So meningococcal meningitis or disease is a bacterial infection that is spread through something as simple as sneezing or coughing, but can also be acquired by sharing utensils, a water bottle, or even kissing. And it's those kind of activities that really place adolescents at an increased risk for this infection. What I don't think a lot of people realize is that this bacterial infection can take the life of a healthy adolescent in 24 hours. About 10 to 15% of people who contract it will die. And of those who do survive, we know that about 20% will be left with severe disabilities, including amputations. And I know Jonathan is going to talk with you about that today. But like anything, I believe that the best defense is a good offense. And so we've got vaccines available that we can use to protect our adolescents and reduce the risk of them developing bacterial meningitis.
Well, that's exactly right. I know, Dr. Wright, growing up, my mother was very careful about letting us share drinks with people and all of that. But Jonathan, let's talk about you. You are a survivor of the disease. How did it change your life and how did it impact you?
Yeah, it happened back in 2005. I was your regular college student, turning in a paper that day to a class, and I had the flu. I had flu-like symptoms of, stiff neck, coughing, and runny nose, everything. And so like any normal person, I just, went home, drank plenty of fluids, and I decided to take a nap that day. But the next thing I remember, it was 12 days later, and I just woke up from a coma. And doctors were frantic. Were just trying to save my life because I was diagnosed with meningococcal disease. And they had to amputate all 10 of my fingers and both of my feet, which left me severely disabled. So I do rely on prosthetic legs and a wheelchair just to become as independent as I can. It not only affected me physically as a dancer who loves hip hop, salsa, and merengue. It really devastated me physically, but also mentally, not knowing if I'll ever get back to dancing. But, moving forward, I tried to be positive and try to stay healthy. And now I'm working with Dr. Wright in terms of providing, the importance of this vaccination and just becoming, as a survivor, the importance of, educating our community in preventing this disease.
Absolutely. Now, did you have any idea about the disease before you contracted it?
No, I was not even aware that the meningitis existed or even the vaccine was available. Our campus did not really provide any brochures or anything in the importance of vaccination. So.
Well, that's quite frustrating, and it sounds like you're quite resilient now. But Dr. Wright, let's talk about the vaccine. It's been mentioned, and so what is that vaccine schedule, and what does the CDC recommend, and can you share more about it?
Sure. So Jonathan's story is not unusual. So today what we're doing in this country is we're protecting 11 to 12-year-olds with the first men ACWY vaccination. So they get it at 11 to 12. And by the way, almost 90% of kids will get that vaccine. It's a great time to give it to them because they're often in front of us needing a mandated vaccine called Tdap, which is mandated in most states. But then we give them the second shot at 16. Only 61% of adolescents actually come in and get that vaccine. But the goal of that second dose is to carry them through that age range, like Jonathan, where they're in that communal living and they're at an increased risk. Our concern is that there's discussion at the ACIP, the immunization arm of the CDC, to eliminate that 11 to 12-year-old dose. And what we're very concerned about is that there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of adolescents who are not going to be vaccinated at all. So we're here today partnering with Sanofi to ensure and to make sure that the ACIP and asking them to look at the evidence. We have reduced bacterial meningitis in this country by 90% with our vaccination program. And Jonathan and I do not want to let up any of that momentum that we have. We've created a website called, and viewers can take a look at bit.ly/meningitis vaccination if they want more information about what we're speaking about today.
Well, that's so true. And I know there are lots of discussions around vaccines, but I think this is one that is absolutely imperative and important for people to get, especially because you're not aware of meningitis or how you can contract it. It sounds like it's spread pretty easily there. So, Jonathan, you mentioned that you maintain your independence via wheelchair and prosthetics, but how else do you stay active and how do you help support others with disabilities?
Yeah, so I did go back to dancing. So I am part of a dance troupe here in San Diego. They're called Shock Studios. And so they do have a dance troupe for individuals 25 and up, so who still have a passion for dancing. So I went back to that. I'm also a vocational counselor working with individuals with disabilities find employment, but also students between the ages of 16 to 22, providing them pre-employment transition services and just really getting them ready in their career, in their future career, either going to college or going to trade school. So just providing that to the community.
I love that. I love that you're still dancing. I'm a dancer myself, so it always lives in you no matter what, and that's so great and so exciting. So where can we go for more information?
Absolutely. The viewers can go to bit.ly/meningitis vaccination for additional information about what we are speaking with you about today. We really do appreciate your time today.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Wright and Jonathan, I appreciate the both of you and being strong advocates for meningitis awareness and the vaccines as well. So best of luck to you as you continue to spread the word throughout the country.
Thank you so much.
Now, we'll have more on the show right after this quick break. We'll be right back. Such an informative show we have on this Friday morning edition of Wasatch Weekends. I'm Kimberly Perot, and thanks for joining. I'll see you tomorrow.